Kentucky is recognized for 4 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of the Strengthening Oversight of Iran's Access to Finance Act introduced by my good friend, Congressman Roger Williams of Texas. Since the seizure of the U.S. Embassy and the taking of 66 American hostages during the 1979 revolution, Iran has taken the long view on its global ambitions, supporting terrorist proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis in Yemen. From 1983, when Iran supported Hezbollah, bombed a U.S. Marine barracks in Lebanon, killing 243 service members, to the killing of over 500 soldiers in Iraq by the elite Quds Force leader Qasem Soleimani, Iran has earned its reputation as the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Most recently, Iran Air, an Iranian state-owned airline, was sanctioned by the Treasury Department in 2011 for using its commercial passenger aircraft to transport weapons to terrorists, helping the Assad regime in Syria, and for transporting military cargo to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is in addition to what the world already well knows, that the Iranian regime has covered up and lied about its nuclear program for decades, deceiving international inspectors, agreeing to intrusive inspections, and then allowing those inspections to be implemented only provisionally and selectively. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, regularly chants death to America and openly calls for the annihilation of the Jewish people. In 2015, the Obama administration made an historic mistake by agreeing to the ill-conceived Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or as it is also called the Iran Nuclear Agreement, or JCPOA. The agreement removed financial sanctions on Iran, enabling greater financial resources for Iranian-funded terrorism, adding insult to injury. Later in 2016, due to the agreement, the Obama Treasury Department authorized the sale of more than 200 planes to Iran, the same Iranian airline that was sanctioned in 2011, and also authorized U.S. banks to finance these transactions. But there is evidence that the carrier has continued its illicit behavior. According to an April 2017 hearing in our subcommittee, Dr. Emmanuel Ottolenghi, a senior fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, testified that Iran Air operated at least 114 flights to Syria between January 16, 2016, which was the implementation day of the JCPOA, and March 30, 2017. These flights are known as weapons resupply routes and stopovers in Iran, with a suspected IRGC logistical hub that supports airlifts to the Assad regime. And in communications with the committee, Dr. Ottolenghi later confirmed that Iran Air had flown at least 134 such flights between implementation day and May 4, 2017, which means the Iran nuclear agreement facilitated Iran helping the brutal, murderous regime of Assad. In exchange, what did the United States get out of this? Only managed access to suspect nuclear sites, in which international inspectors must appeal to Iran, Russia, and China in a bureaucratic process that takes at least 24 days, during which Iran could remove anything covert and in violation of the agreement. International inspectors have also been denied access to military sites, the most likely places in Iran where illicit nuclear activity is occurring. So even if the JCPOA was delivering on its core promise of a denuclearized Iran, the agreement was sold with specific assurance that the JCPOA would not limit the United States' ability to stop Iran's non-nuclear activities and their support of terror activities. Then Secretary of State John Kerry, in defense of the agreement, selling the agreement to Democrats and Republicans in the Congress, he testified that, quote, if we catch them funding terrorism, they're going to have a problem with the U.S. Congress. Mr. Speaker, apparently not, because members of Congress don't have a problem with this evidence that Iran is funding terrorist proxies and the Assad regime. And for these reasons, it is imperative that Congress pass Strengthening Oversight of Iran's Access to Finance Act, which would require Treasury to provide a report to Congress describing these connections. This is a reporting bill. Even if you support the JCPOA, you should support congressional oversight. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman